What was your camera package on Ozark?
I stayed the same. We had tested a number of different cameras, and I had sent Jason over a bunch of camera tests and lighting tests and lens tests. We thought even so that part of the deal maybe of me maybe expanding on the look a little bit with lighting, and then we keep consistency, and some technical consistency was good. From Jason all the way up to Netflix. So it's the Venice camera systems, and we carry 3 bodies. We'd have 2 main cameras and then a third as a backup, and then one that could go into Rialto mode, which we use quite often. It's this kind of tethered miniature, scaled down brains only part of the camera that you can.
What is that called? Rialto mode?
Yeah, it's the you can just basically take apart the regular Venice and then just use the brains for acquisition with the lens. And so it was and we shot. It's a 6K camera, but because we have the Leicas fully cover 6K, the Leica R's. But we also carried a set of Leica Summicrons, which don't necessarily cover larger format. But if you scale down from 6K to 5.7K, it was all in the usable image area. So those are kind of like backups in case we got into a jam and I need a different focal length or a longer, a different look even, because they do look a little different. To be able to employ those, just to have a safety net. As kind of a comfort zone, we shot. I think they started that in season 3 to shoot it in 5.7K. So you have, and we also, shoot with a 10% look around, so in case you need any stabilization and whatnot. But that larger chip definitely helps with all that. I think prior to that they had been using Varicam. I think it was a Super 35 size chip. But going to the Venice, I think a lot of people noticed the expansion of the look in season 3. There was a lot more depth. There's a lot more, color information. There's a lot more resolution, and it was a cleaner image. Things like that. So we took the same lenses, took the same camera packages from season 3. Maybe added a couple little specialty things here and there. I at the beginning of the season we employed the use of like low angle prisms so we could scrape across the floor on these little tracking shots or scrape along the wall. And things like that, but just a little bit of expansion on the technical side in terms of camera and lenses. But the changes were more, again, lighting ratios and color and such. And again, not noticeable, hopefully, but little manipulations, little changes.
I'm looking at that Rialto mode as you're talking. I had not heard of this. And for those that don't know, I put a link to it in the show notes so you guys can check it out. But it looks basically like you have basically like the size of a DSLR, right, tethered to the body of the camera. There's even pictures here with like probably an AC wearing a backpack kit with the camera and the operator with that. So is that how you guys were?
For sure, it can be cumbersome. We never used it as like a handheld quick thing. It was always a specialty where we want to get a shot
into tight places,
into the cabinet, or inside the bookshelf, or especially a lot of car work. It helps with car work quite a bit. And it because it's also where there's definitely a language to the angle of the shots where we're in a Fincher-esque way. There's very little tilt on the show. It's very zero tilt. It's a zero tilt show. So where the dolly grip is a de facto camera operator, because if I need to look down, you boom down to the place. You boom up to the place. In the same mode of using fewer lenses, it's taking the viewer and putting them there as opposed to just directing them, and you're physically going to these places and to maintain kind of like rectilinear vanishing points and lines. So the Rialto helps a lot when you can't shove a big camera and you still have to stay level. The Rialto, is much smaller, so inside of a car you can get up, closer to the ceiling or whatnot. So it wasn't just replacement; it was also keeping flexibility with given our visual language, which we added to a bit more. We added much more of a kind of a specialty down tilt, 30-degree, I still kept it somewhat mathematical. So if we weren't level, it'd be 15 degrees or 30 degrees or 45 degrees down in terms of tilt. But sorry, now